News.mc on Monaco Info is brought to you by Monaco Legend Properties. Our exclusive interview with the personalities making the Principality.
My name is Mark Thomas. I'm in charge of international clients at Balkin Frank in Monaco, and I take care of the majority of the English-speaking clients. I'm originally from Wales, did my university studies at Loughborough University. I did politics and economics first, then I went to Cambridge University and I studied land economics, which is property. And from there I ended up in London working for Richard Ellis, which is the world's biggest real estate company, but doing commercial real estate in central London. And alongside that I was a professional international rugby player. At that time, after about 8 years in London, I decided I needed a change and had the opportunity to come and play in the top 14 with Nice, Racing Club Nice. And I came down for 2 years thinking I'd go back to London, and 31 years later, I'm still here. Finished the rugby and then ended up doing the bobsled with Monsignor for 8 years with the Monaco bobsled team. Stefan Balkin's been a dear friend and I used to send him lots and lots of clients. And then I had a little technology business in America, and then I got fed up with that, came back, and he said, come on, let's work together. And we've been doing that for the last 5-6 years, and it's been a lot of fun. Thoroughly enjoy it. Seen a lot of change in the Monaco property market, and it's continuing to change and evolve, and it's very, very exciting times here. Actually, first time I came, I was 16 years of age, and here's a great story for you. I was 16 years of age. My godfather was a very famous painter, Maître André Beccari, for the Saudi Arabian royal family, and he lived in the penthouse at Palais Héraclès. I am currently negotiating on the exact penthouse where I came as a teenager at 16 years of age and spent my first summer in Monaco. So it's quite an emotional deal for me, so I'm really hoping we can get it through, but it brings back wonderful memories. So that was my first trip, and then I came back in '87 to play rugby for Wales in the Monte-Carlo Sevens, and we lost to the French in the final. Denis Charvet and Frank Monaco, the boys were playing. I mean, it was a glorious French team. We lost. But in the dinner at the Hotel de Paris, I was vice captain. I was still at Cambridge University doing my master's, and the guy said, well, you speak French. You sit next to the prince. I said, he speaks English. He went to university in America. And they said, no, you sit next to him. Wouldn't know what to say. So I ended up sitting next to Monsignor. We got on like a house on fire and sport and talked about that. And then obviously afterwards we ended up going down had a few late night beers, and we continued our friendship from there. I was back the following year playing again. And then I invited him over to then Five Nations rugby match, which was the last game at the old Cardiff Arms Park before they knocked it down. And that was it, and our friendship began. And when I came down to Nice, I told him I was going to sign. I could have gone to Racing Club Paris, but I decided to come to Racing Club Nice because Paris was like London. It was a big city, and I'm a country boy. I love the ocean, I love the mountains. And then the bobsled, of course, when you crash at 140 kilometers an hour together in a bobsled, it's a bit of a bonding experience. And you go through good things and bad things in sport, but sometimes the bad experiences bring you closer together. It's been a fantastic journey on the Côte d'Azur. I think in Monaco, it's a very unique, I call it the biggest little village in the world, because essentially that's what it is. We're 38,500 people now. I'm from a little fishing village in Wales. I can still go back to the local pubs and they say, oh wait, Mark, as if they saw you yesterday. And it's the same here. There's the parochial and conviviality of the friendship of a community in the bars, the restaurants, the shops, the market. I know the fishmonger, I know the butchers, and it's after 30 odd years you get to know a lot of people here. And the business world has grown and developed, and the property world has developed. So it's exciting, and also I think now, modern day, and I'm married, the security and safety of Monaco is very comforting. I think it's really important in today's modern age with the immigration and social problems that we see throughout Europe. And Monaco is that beacon of security for women and children, and I think it's a very positive thing. When Stefan asked me to work together, it was out of the blue, but it was a perfect timing for me. So I dived in, and so I take care of a lot of the Anglo-Saxons, if you like, because we have Italian speakers, French speakers, Danish speakers, and I'm obviously a British individual. The Brits are very particular. They like to work with people who can understand their humor and obviously the language, and sometimes dealing with the French or the Italians, they get a bit frustrated. So for me, it was very simple to take the reins and deal with a lot of the international clients. I thoroughly enjoy it because I know their mindset, especially coming from London, and then obviously the different echelons, from the bankers to developers to tech people. We deal with a lot of royal families, and we pride ourselves at Balkin on our professionalism and our discretion, and the services we provide them on that basis. We run a very tight team. We've got a terrific team. It's very important that you have a smile on your face each day, and you pick each other up when you're having a bad day or a good week, and we celebrate our successes, and we analyze what's going on in the market if things aren't happening. Like, it's been a very quiet year because of interest rates, because of the war situations, and now we're getting ready for a bit of an onslaught from the UK because of the election, because of the end of non-dom status, and a lot of fiscal and tax issues, and that's a good thing for Monaco. What's more importantly now is that Labour government just got elected, and that's the first time in over a dozen years, 15 years. So there's going to be some massive changes, and there's no money in the Treasury for what they want to do, so they're going to have to increase taxes across the board, be it in capital gains, inheritance tax, wealth tax, property tax. They feel that there'll be at least 9,500 millionaires leaving the UK, and they'll be looking for a new home. So that'll be Monaco, Dubai, potentially Italy and Switzerland. If you look at the INSEE report on the demographics, the number of British people who've full-time residence in Monaco has definitely increased. It's a friendly location. Most people speak English, French, Italian and English, right? Those are the three priority languages, and even the other nationalities, the Dutch, the Swiss, the Russians, Ukrainians, they all speak English, so everyone gets on. Dubai is a very safe location, but it's a very nouveau riche. Here you can fly to London for breakfast, meeting, be back on the last flight at 11 o'clock at night. We feel very positive about the future in Monaco. Obviously, there is a constant undersupply and over-demand for quality units. It's extremely difficult right now. The rental market this year has been very, very active, to the extent that if you asked me to give you a list of 3-bedroom apartments of the top quality, I could only maybe give you a dozen, even maybe not even that to consider right now. And that's just not from the Brits, it's from Switzerland, it's from Germany, it's from Holland, it's from Scandinavia. We're seeing the Americans coming back in just to have a location in Europe. The good thing with that the rental market is so busy is that generally leads to more sales, because people settle, and we have clients who say, I just want to settle, get my carte séjour for a year, then I want to buy something, want to settle in, find my feet, and that's what we advise our clients. But long term, the stock, we've got so much old stock in Monaco that has to be either knocked down or upgraded. And with the EU regulations and rules on sustainability and energy efficiency, you're going to see a massive amount of capital invested into doing that. Yes, we have a lot of construction. Maritaire, if you could do 4 Maritaires, they'd all be sold out. That's how popular Monaco is. And people want turnkey, move into situations. They're fed up of buying and then I've got to develop for 6 months and then I've got to rent something. They just want to move into something which is really well done. Put their paintings, their pictures on the wall, bring their suitcases, the design work, the finishes, everything. And that's what Monaco has been missing. Very few developers have done that in Monaco. There are 1 or 2 who we know very well, who do it exceptionally well, and they get top dollar. And people are prepared to pay that because they want quality. Within the industry, everybody knows who probably the top 6 to 10 agencies are, who are the preferred people to work with for discretion purposes, professionalism and international reach. For example, with Balkin now, we are Knight Frank. And Knight Frank is the biggest privately owned real estate group in the world. So we have referrals from all our international network for people seeking or looking to come and live in Monaco. The trade-off for that is we have clients in Monaco who have properties all over the world. And so they come to us now, our clients, and say, it's great. I got my property in New York or in Geneva or in Saint-Jean, in London, in Chelsea, can you help me? And now we just plug it into our network and they get taken care of and they get the personal service which they've always had with us, and we put them in touch with our namesake in that particular region, and we've done that on 3 or 4 occasions and people are very happy with that. But it's a market which is it's beginning to become more regulated, and obviously we have to do what the banks do, what the notaries do, know your client, the due diligence. So we are very, very detailed on that, and it's an important part of our process with every new client. Knight Frank is one of the biggest privately owned residential groups in the world. And the whole process started about 2 years ago, and Stefan was anxious that we expand and get a bigger profile. And the irony of all that is that the ex-head of international property for Knight Frank was my old roommate at Cambridge University. So after Cambridge, I went to Richard Ellis, which is now CBRE. He went to Knight Frank. He was with Knight Frank for 35 years, nearly 40 years, and became head of international. And we had a conversation about 3-4 years ago, and he said they want to do something bigger and better in Monaco and work with better people. And Stefan was on the same wavelength. The relationship is developing extremely well, to the extent, we're dealing with Middle East royal families who are based in London and they're moving to Monaco now. If we weren't part of that network, we wouldn't get that business. So it's an amazing relationship, and it benefits both sides because they take care of their clients moving to a different location. Of course, they're keeping their properties in London, but they're just expanding their sort of locations where they can spend more time. For us, it was a logical sort of wedding, and that's what we were engaged, and then we said, okay, when do we put the ring on the finger? And we agreed on the date, and Stefan went through all the contracts, and he was happy. Lo and behold, now on the door it says Balkin Knight Frank, Monaco, and we'll go from strength to strength.
That's all for today. Thank you for watching News.mc, your English rendezvous on Monaco Info. Discover more interviews and stories on our websites, News.mc and MonacoInfo.com. This show was brought to you by Monaco Legend Properties.